What's up guys, welcome to BlueBot Tech. Today we're going to be doing a quick review of the brand new Wyze Robot Vacuum. I have to tell you guys, I'm a pretty big fan of the Wyze products and I have a number of their cameras strewn around my house, but I think you'll be very surprised with how I feel about this product at the end of the video. And just before we get started guys, I just wanted to point out how important it is to me that my robot vacuum can take care of pet hair. I have two big furry dogs, and without a robot vacuum, my house can and will be completely covered in hair within a day or two. So I ordered the newly released Wyze Robot Vacuum from Wyze.com for $199. Now because I was an early backer for this vacuum, I got it for about $199, but the price is set to go up to $249.99 here soon. Now this vacuum is LiDAR equipped, which is an absolute must if you're buying a robot vacuum in 2021. Don't even waste your time with vacuums if they're not using LiDAR at this point. That's how important a feature that I think it is. This LiDAR in particular has a range of 26 feet and some other stats that really sound impressive, but probably doesn't mean a whole lot to most people. Now because this vacuum does have LiDAR, it's able to tackle your floors in a more complete manner with its path planning. And based on observing the vacuum in action over the last week, it does seem to lap around the room before cleaning the room row by row, as seen in this path planning picture. Now this big circle on top of the robot vacuum is the LiDAR sensor. And usually if the vacuum does have one of these big circles, it's a pretty good bet that it does have LiDAR equipped with it. The Wyze vacuum has 3 induction sensors for detecting where the charging station is located. I assume this uses 3 of them to help triangulate the direction of the charging station. And from using it over the last week, it does seem to do a pretty good job of finding its charging station relatively quickly. This vacuum also has the standard cliff sensors, collision push bar sensors, as well as a gyroscope and speed sensor that can help your vacuum adjust its speed based on the pitch of the floor, and it enables the vacuum to slow down if for whatever reason it suddenly gains speed. And this will help prevent it from hitting or bumping into objects. The main and side brush look like what you would typically expect to see on most robot vacuums these days, and it claims to have strong suction power to get through tough stuff like pet hair. Now the Wyze vacuum does have 3 adjustable suction settings: quiet, standard, and strong. And these settings you can set up before scheduling the robot to run. Now a little bit more on this, a lot of robot vacuums on the market, they do have automatic suction and brush speed adjustment based on the terrain that it detects. And for example, this is if a vacuum was running on the wood floor and then suddenly moved onto carpet, a lot of these vacuums would automatically detect this and increase power to the brushes and suctions. With that being said, this vacuum does not appear to have that feature, which is kind of a big disappointment for me. After running it for about a week, it does appear to do a pretty good job on carpeting and floors. Now this vacuum does use the same Wyze app that other Wyze products use. And the vacuum's app interface is really clean and simplistic, and there really isn't much to it, which I kind of like. The app itself gives you the current map of the floor space. It provides useful statistics like the square footage of the space that it just vacuumed, the vacuum's current charge level, as well as the total time it took to run the last scheduled task. Now the square icon over here is a virtual wall icon, and what that does, it allows you to basically geo-fence off spaces of your floor. Now this feature was very important to me, as using magnetic tape or even just physically blocking off an area so the vacuum doesn't get stuck is really kind of a hassle. And a lot of times on my older vacuums that did not have this geo-fencing feature, I would wake up in the morning and I'd find my vacuum had been stuck on a cord that it had sucked up or something else was blocking it. And it really defeats the purpose of having a vacuum whenever it's getting stuck half the time. So you can see here, I just blocked off the entrance to my office and the area underneath my dining room table. And this was to prevent from the vacuum going into my office and sucking up cables or getting trapped under the dining table. Now the cogwheel at the top right is the settings page. And on the settings page, you can set multiple cleaning schedules. One thing I do like about this cleaning schedule system is that you can set the suction strength for each set schedule, as well as set to clean an individual room or clean the whole house. Now once the vacuum has mapped the house, it does automatically assign rooms to the floor. And I like that it breaks the house down into rooms, but I really wish and would love the ability to set a room manually, as this could be useful for making more complex schedules. Now the Wyze vacuum really has a pretty standard canister size, and it's not really anything special, and it's definitely something that I'm going to have to empty every single day with the amount of hair that my dogs are producing. The battery lasts about 110 minutes, which puts it really in the upper middle range for robot vacuums. And of course, this will depend on maintenance of the vacuum and how many times it's had charged throughout its life. The Wyze Vacuum does have some pretty slim dimensions, and it was able to get under my couch and coffee table without any issues. Alright guys, now that we've gone over the vacuum itself, let's see how it stacks up against other vacuums and how I feel about it. This robot vacuum retails for $250, which is just slightly above the entry-level price tag for most robot vacuums. With that being said, this vacuum does come with built-in LiDAR, which allows you to have the whole mapping, pathing, and virtual fencing. And from what I can tell, most LiDAR-equipped robot vacuums retail for about $300+. So this seems to be a pretty good bargain for just $250. Another thing I like about this Wyze Vacuum is that the app is pretty awesome. It's very simple, it's very intuitive, and I can just hop in it and I know exactly what's going on. Now the quiet setting on the vacuum is actually pretty quiet, especially compared to the standard and strong suction settings. Now one of my biggest gripes about this vacuum is that it does lack the automatic suction settings based on the terrain that the vacuum is currently running on. This Boost IQ or automatic suction setting is pretty common for a lot of base level or entry level robot vacuums, and I'm definitely pretty disappointed that this does not have it built in. Now, if you don't have two different types of terrain, like you just have all carpet or all hardwoods, this may not even be an issue for you. Another small con that I have for this vacuum is that it does have a pretty standard canister size, and really with the dog hair that I produce like every single day, I have to empty it daily. So there's really no getting around my having to do this maintenance every single day on this vacuum. Another thing that's not really a big issue for me is that this vacuum is just strictly vacuuming and it does not have any mopping features like some other vacuums on the market. Another potential con for some people might be that this vacuum is pretty loud on both standard and strong suction. And for me, I usually have this running around 1 a.m. when everyone's asleep upstairs, so no one really hears it, so it's not really a big deal for me. So overall guys, how I feel about this vacuum is I have no regrets about buying it. It really does everything that I need it to do. There are some things that I would have liked to have seen been added to it, or maybe could be added after the fact, but overall it has the virtual walls, which was the biggest issue for me. The LiDAR allows it to be more efficient, and its pathing means that it's gonna get done faster. All right guys, that's it for the video. Please leave a like or subscribe, or leave a comment if you have any ideas for future videos or just wanna tell us how we're doing. Thank you.